back to 6 and 6, where we cover 6 stories from around the world in 6 minutes or less. With that said, start your timer. We begin today in Argentina, where the Peronist opposition faces significant challenges after an electoral defeat that exposed internal weaknesses and strategic disconnects. The party must now critically examine its political messaging and align its approach to better connect with voters and current economic and social concerns. This setback presents a potential turning point for the traditional influential political movement, requiring comprehensive introspection and strategic transformation. From Reuters, quote, "This electoral result was a wake-up call for us. It's not just about losing ground in this election, but about recognizing that our own message did not resonate with a large segment of the electorate. We need to revisit our core principles and how we're communicating with Argentinians. Moving forward, our challenge will be to rebuild the trust and align our policies more closely with everyday concerns," end quote. Next, we travel across the Atlantic to Sudan, where a severe famine has been confirmed by Al-Fashir and El Jania, caused by ongoing conflict, drought, and economic instability. Thousands of lives are at risk, with humanitarian aid delivering severely constrained by security challenges. Millions remain on the brink of starvation, with children and vulnerable populations experiencing the most critical impacts. From Reuters, quote, "Without immediate and unhindered safe access, the humanitarian catastrophe will worsen. It's critical that the international community acts swiftly to ensure that aid reaches those in desperate need," Michelle Bachelet, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, said, end quote. Next, we travel back across the Atlantic, where the U.S. Department of Transportation is seeking to impose an end date of 2025 on Delta Airlines and Air Mexico joint ventures, citing concerns about anti-competitive practices. The government argues that the alliance's significant market control could potentially limit consumer options and contribute to higher ticket prices. This intervention aims to promote fair competition and maintain a balanced aviation market by challenging the indefinite continuation of their partnership. From Reuters, quote, "This deadline is not just a calendar marker, but a necessary market correction measure," government lawyers asserted in their brief. The Department of Justice emphasized that the alliance's substantial market presence could potentially stifle competition and limit consumer options. Meanwhile, Delta and Aeromexico contend that their partnership provides improved services and operational synergies, end quote. Next, halfway across the world, we go to India, who has significantly increased humanitarian aid to Afghanistan following a devastating earthquake, delivering essential supplies and medical assistance. The strategic move is part of India's broader geopolitical efforts to enhance its regional influence, particularly in competition with China's growing presence. The aid demonstrates New Delhi's commitment to supporting Afghan people during critical humanitarian crises, while simultaneously advancing a strategic interest in South Asia. From Reuters, quote, "While the humanitarian instincts guide this effort, it's undeniable that there are broader geopolitical calculations at play. The situation provides an opportunity for India to cement its presence in the region and offer an alternative to China's approach, which is seen as a more transactional and infrastructure-focused. On the grassroots level, such aid enhances people-to-people goodwill, which is crucial for India's soft power diplomacy in Afghanistan," end quote. Next, we travel south, where ASO Chief Mike Burgess has warned about foreign states using sophisticated state-sponsored trolls to spread disinformation and manipulate public opinion in Australia. These cyber interference tactics aim to exploit social and political divides, undermining democratic institutions by creating discord and eroding public trust. From Reuters, quote, "Foreign intelligence services, especially those aligned with authoritarian regimes, have noticed the palpable benefits of deploying troll farms that masquerade as genuine social media users with democratic environments." Burgess stated, quote, "They exploit those spaces to amplify grievances or manufacture outrage, sometimes creating wild tides of disinformation that can polarize debates and erode public trust," end quote. And finally, we end today in Germany, where Friedrich Merz has called for a repatriation of Syrian refugees, reflecting a growing trend of hardening immigration policies in Germany. This stance comes amid rising popularity of far-right parties like AfD and increasing public concern over immigration issues. From Reuters, quote, "We must acknowledge that the need for reconstructing our policy regarding refugees, Merz stated, emphasizing the complex intersection of security and compassion. The political landscape is changing, with parties increasingly responding to voter concerns about immigration and integration. End quote. And if you want to listen to read any of today's articles, you can find all the links in the description below that like and subscribe button. Also down there, you can find the podcast on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Podfind, as well as Apple Podcasts. And you can also find the Twitter handle at Your Daily Flip, where I post links to these episodes on Tuesday and Thursday, and the normal podcasts on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So with all that said, there's only one more thing to say. Stay safe. Don't die.